What's up? What's going on? What is up? What is going on, YouTube? How's everybody? Today, you are going to be watching a video based on tuning drums and installing snare wire tutorial. You may, I know. This is not scripted for one. I know what you're thinking. But we already know how to tune our drums and install snare wires. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay? You might even watch me struggle with it a little bit. Even. But that's the beauty of all this. Is I don't necessarily stage and rehearse every little thing that I, shoot for you guys. As in record. I was going to say film, but obviously I'm not using a film camera. Using a digital camera. That all said, let's dive into this. Oh yeah. So when I'm tuning my drums, I actually like to start with the bass drum first, because it's not only the bass drum, the lowest tone sounding drum, as in bass clef, the bass drum. It's also the bass drum. It's the foundation of the drum set, the drum kit itself. So I'm going to start by tuning the resonant side of the bass drum. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I was gonna try to tighten them using the hex drum key, but then I thought to myself, you know what? It's so warm in here, temperature-wise, that I can actually just use my fingers to tighten them up. In the wintertime, it's a little different. You might use the key, but I could give it a little more tension, just to be sure. I mean, you could get these tension rods on the bass drum pretty fairly tight by, believe it or not, just using your finger strength. So yeah, that's good. Let's move on to the front batter head of the bass drum now. I'm going to move the throne out as opposed to crouching awkwardly over my snare drum to tune. Really, I should pull the snare out. See, just like so. Actually need this little hex drum key to get in to the tension rod right in between the do bass drum slave pedal universal shaft joint and the bass drum hoop itself. I always have to use the smaller key, otherwise the slave side of the left bass drum pedal is too awkwardly close, so I just have to switch that one. Make a little note of that yourselves if you ever need to do something like that. It's pretty much just self-explanatory, common sense stuff, really. We're gonna go ahead and just do the same with the one above it, the tension rod above the one that's right in between the low bass drum slave pedal universal connecting shaft joint and the bass drum hoop. And then let's get this tight over here. That's, you usually just give it a few taps. It's tight, you could hear it. It sounds good just by tapping it like that. Alright. That's while I have the throne out, yeah, like I said, you know, you really never want to. If I were to be sitting at my throne right now, crouched over the snare, it's just not a great position for your lumbar, your vertebrae spine. It's just, in my opinion, it's awkward. It's not like doing a squat or a deadlift. You have to awkwardly get in there, and just you're overextending is what you're doing. You're overextending your lower back. For what? Just to tune your kit? Nah, just try to do your best to get in the habit of just moving around. Like I said, I should have actually moved my snare drum out as well, but I didn't because I was being lazy. Right now, I'm going to get back down on the floor just to tighten this pedal here, as opposed to crouching over my drum. And then, yeah, that'll be good. What the hell? Oh, I was wondering what the hell that was. Excuse my language. Looks good. Yeah, that does look good. Piece of tape. That's what it is. Stinking piece of tape from my dowel rods. Alright, bass drum's done. Bass drum's tuned. You see how quick that was? I mean, I've been doing it for years. I should have it down by now, huh? Good. Bass drum is tuned and in position. Thrown in position. Next, let's move on to the floor tom. I already tuned the resonant. Wait, did I? I detuned the resonant heads. I thought that I tuned them back up, but they're feeling extra loose, and I believe that's just because the resonant heads are feeling loose as a result of the top batter heads being loose themselves. So I think it's just more of a psychological thing. They're not actually loose, it's just the tone of the batter heads themselves are completely detuned. They are completely detuned flat. So that said, let's tune up the top batter heads and see if we can bring these bad boys back to good standing as far as good sounding goes. Should do the trick. Yeah. That seems a little tight. I'm going to just peel them back a little bit. I don't know how I managed to get them up so tight. Like I said, the temperature in here is 12. It's got to be at least 77 or above. I know you're going to be thinking, why do you ever run the air conditioner? I know. I should. It's just, supposedly the pollutants in your house are 2 or 3 times higher when you're running the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. I didn't really know that until about 1.5 decades ago. It's an amazing way to learn. You learn something new every day, you know, on a daily basis. That's good. It's really the same tension. It'll loosen itself up as you do a sound check. That's another thing. You know, if you feel like you slightly over tighten the top batter side heads, it's okay. You know why? That's what the sound check's for. If they're a little bit tight, the sound check will inadvertently detune or flatten them. Now that's, if you're wondering why it sounds like that, it's because I put snare wires on this thing. I might get them out of there because it sounds kind of funky, honestly. I just was trying something kind of different. Thought it'd be cool, but if it just ends up sounding like total, crap cakes, then yes, crap cakes. I'm just gonna remove them all together. Still have a dimple there for some reason, huh? important thing about tuning your drums is anytime you're transporting them or they're in extreme temperatures, it may not be a bad idea to loosen up all the heads, just for the sake of preservation. You're preserving the heads just by detuning and loosening them all. Like I said, while they're either in transport, which isn't completely necessary if they're in either soft or, touring hard cases, but if they're going to be sitting out in the open in wavering extreme temperatures, I would definitely suggest and recommend, with my personal opinion, recommend just detuning them. Detune them flat until you're ready to, to smack them open again. You know what I'm saying? Bang away. That's the one that doesn't sound right. I'm telling you, I put those snare wires under there. Yeah. I might have to get rid of them. I always thought it might be cool, but honestly, it doesn't really sound that good. Sounding like crap. Go figure. I don't know what's going on with it, honestly. I don't know what this drum's doing to me, but it really is just not cooperating. This 14-inch floor tom does not cooperate with me right now for some reason. Why? I don't know. It just doesn't. You know what I do? Why? My 14-inch floor tom doesn't want to cooperate with me. Wow, it actually sounds like something. Wow, nice. Last but not least, the moment you guys all been waiting for. That's right. Snare wires. Let's get any excess, for lack of a better word, crap off the heads themselves. And we're going to start by doing what? That's right. Tuning the resonant side head first. Okay? You have to tune the resonant side head before you install the snare wires. At least I prefer to. You don't have to do it that way. I'm just telling you that's how I do it, okay? And you have to be very careful with the snare because obviously snares are much more tolerable to high tension. So that being said, just tighten them slowly, okay? Slowly and obviously staggered tighten, just like you would with a tractor trailer, a semi truck, big wheel. I would stagger tighten. You don't just go around the drum and tighten each tension rod one after another next to one another. No, you have to go across, okay, like a star pattern. You're just making a star. And there's some people would argue that you should even skip one, but honestly, you could skip every other one. You're supposed to like 1, 2, and then there's like a 3, 4, and then like a 5, 6, and you're right. You do that first, and then you come back to the 7, 8 up top. So it would be, and then the 9 and the 10, right there, right? Or I'm sorry, the 9 and the 10's right there. Yeah. Well, you get what I'm saying. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. That one last. You could do it like that, but whatever. However you want. I almost forgot how many tension rods are on this snare drum. There are 10. I was right the first time. right? Yeah, there's 10. I was right. You know what? I'm gonna do it like that. Actually, I'm gonna tighten them exactly how I just said I'm gonna do it for fun. Because really, why not? Check this out. Ready? 1, 2. Just so you guys see. Everybody at home watching or wherever you are at the airport. 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5, 6, and then we would be right here, actually. 7, 8. Here's 7, 8, okay? 7, 8, right? And then what's the last one we didn't do? Right here. 9, 10. Here's your 9, 10. Okay? Can you guys see that? The train station, wherever you guys are. At work, at the train, bus stop, airport, grocery store, coffee shop, library, reading a book. Who knows? I'm gonna just keep it at that tension, honestly. I don't wanna go crazy with it. I'm gonna see how. Let's play a little bit. I mean, I could tighten a little more just for toots and wiggles. Let's check it out. Just give it like maybe one more crank. There's a 1 and a 2. Okay. There's a 3 and a 4. All right. I'm gonna switch up keys for sake of room here. I'm gonna scratch up those shells in this new beautiful kit that we have. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 6, right? Yeah. Something just fell. I don't know what that was. A 5 and a 6, and then shoot, where are we at? 5 and a 6, and a 7 and an 8. 7 and an 8, right? Yeah. This was my 7 and 8, and here's my 9, 10. There's my 9, 10 right here. Did I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's my 9, 10. My 9, 10's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's good. Let's get these snare wires on. And the snare wires we're going to be using today are, in fact, Puresound. You guys see that? Snare wire, Puresound, custom pro installation. Remove all the snare wires and adjust the strainer tension knob until it's halfway between its highest and lowest position. Plural positions. Thread the speed release strap through the counter hoop slots. I was about to say slats. Slots and through the butt end and strainer clamps. Do not tighten clamps. Okay? Do not tighten them. Pull the ends of the speed release straps through the loosened clamps to center the snare wire unit on the head. Important. Tighten both the butt end clamp and strainer clamp. Turn strainer on and adjust tension knob to your desired snare response. Speed release instructions. Remove the cotter pin from both straps and remove the snare wire unit. Do not loosen straps from clamps. Okay, speed mounting instructions. Thread the end of the strap through the slot in the end plate. Okay, thread the end of the strap through the slot in the end plate from underneath. Thread straight half of the cotter pin through the small loop in the strap between the two white lines. You got all that? Thread straight half of the cotter pin through the small loop in the strap between